don't spread false rumors unless you want me to spread false rumors about yourself. Just remember that. You reap what you sow. I missed the flight. I didn't skip the flight, okay? Key distinction.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Today's episode, we have a lot to get into. We're going to take some Facebook questions. We'll get into Play of the Week. We'll let Lou talk about Lou's Poos a little bit. We'll get into that. And we're going to start with what's on your mind. And normally I would give it up to one of you two, but I don't think we should start with anyone else other than myself today, personally, because I have a grudge. I gotta pick some with you, Ty, because Jay, I don't know if you can drop it in here. I don't know if you have the audio handy, but Tyler last week on the episode, I specifically stated we're gonna find out what kind of guy Tyler is Saturday morning at 9 a.m. when he gets off a flight on very few hours of sleep, possibly hungover. And he's in Dallas going through, not set up, walking around making deals. I said, we'll find out what kind of guy Ty is. You know what kind of guy we found out Ty was? He skipped his flight.
Guy. Skip is false, so don't spread false rumors unless you want me to spread false rumors about yourself. Just remember that. You reap what you sow. I missed the flight. I didn't skip the flight, okay? Key distinction, but I did miss the flight. It was pain. I think I texted you guys the second I woke up.
You did.
I just said because I knew the amount of burial that is deservedly coming my way.
I mean,
yeah, I missed the flight cold. I was sad.
Just not enough sleep?
No. What happened was I tried to do the old 5-minute nap, and I got home at 2:30. I hadn't been drinking like you would drink at your good friend's birthday. Like I was quelled, and I got home 2:30.
You're being responsible.
I was gonna leave at 4 for the airport, and I did let me set 4 alarms to get the quick 5 minutes. And I woke up and it was 7 a.m. and my flight was at 5:50. And and then I texted you guys a 4-letter word in all caps. Took 6 minutes to realize how could I get there, and I wouldn't have landed at like 2:30. I would have landed at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And I was on an 8 a.m. flight home the next day, and
not worth.
No.
It's probably something that's gonna stay with me for many years. Yeah. It's the worst missed flight of my life. But I did not skip the flight, Ryan.
Yeah, he didn't skip it.
It was a miss.
I'll say this. I almost missed Dallas that first time we went too. I think missing a flight by accident might be like a top 3 or bottom 3, like most anxiety inducing thing in my life. Which is saying a lot about my life and how great it is, but it's a thing I'm saying.
There's a special feeling of self-reflecting of how you miss a flight.
Yeah, especially when you promise your boys you're going to be somewhere.
Yeah, or promise an entire community that listens to a podcast.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler, you literally said on the fucking episode, you're like, winter's over.
I know. I watched the entire episode Saturday morning. Yep. Oh yeah, no, I did.
Tough.
But I got ground to make up.
Still hibernating.
I got ground to make up. I'm definitely still in hibernation, but we're coming out hot on Thursday. I'm excited to have you in the city, and thankfully, I guess it was like someone made a comment. It was like Groundhog's Day. Like winter just extended a little bit.
Yeah, you didn't see your shadow, or vice versa.
One or the other. Whichever one means what we're talking about, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah, text her Ty, 7:56 a.m. local time in Dallas. Well, boys, didn't make it to Dallas.
Damn it!
So good. All right. Is there anything else on your mind, Ryan?
No, we'll get into Dallas recap here in a little bit, so I'll talk more then. But Lou, you're up.
Can I do 2?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we can make an exception this week.
Okay, we can make an exception. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. As the captain of the ship, I like to make sure you're cool with it first. My first one is Winning Time on HBO. I think has the potential to become a monster. And
the
what
Lakers
that
documentary?
it's not a documentary. It's like a mockumentary kind of.
mockumentary.
What's that?
It's like it's like they're telling the story, but they're clearly taking liberties, and like it's a little bit absurdist kind of thing. But it's really, really good. Like really, really enjoyable. And what I was gonna say was, I think it has the chance to Zipper's trying to get in my room. That's a problem. What it has a chance to do is like highlight some of maybe the not necessarily lesser guys, but like I think it's going to put a spotlight on Kareem that people necessarily weren't aware of. It's definitely going to put a big spotlight on Magic. So I'm going to be watching what happens from a card perspective. I don't anticipate it's going to be anything crazy, but it's something to watch for, and I think it's going to be interesting. So that's my first one. And then my second one is I made some sales this weekend on my sweet futures that I didn't even realize were up until they were gone. So that's tough. But one thing I wanted to say, obviously I will preface it with my boss is a member of this group, Candy Digital, Sweet Futures. So obviously take that for what it's worth. But I do believe they're really interesting. For football, they were great. I made some good money on flipping on those.
What is it?
It's basically, I don't know the proper way to describe it, but I would describe it as a rookie card NFT. So like they have animated pictures. The new ones for basketball, what I was getting at was the basketball ones came out today, the first ones. And Jalen Duran was a part of that, part of the first drop, as well as a couple others.
Top Shot mixed with NFT
No.
type thing.
I think they're more cards. It's more cardy than it is Top Shot-y, to give it a perspective a little bit. I don't know if that helps.
Top Shot and Candy Sweet Futures, both digital collectibles.
Yeah.
Jalen Duran. That's his name, right?
Yes.
Right? That's his name. Does he have any sports cards out anywhere?
I don't believe so.
So, Ryan, they're numbered. It's either a core, a rare, a very rare, or a one of one. Jalen Duran has in a product called Sweet Futures, which is essentially like going down the chain. It's like NIL deals, and the rookie. It's a rookie card that's being
a rookie collectible.
Put out. It's a rookie collectible, yeah.
In their college
I don't
jersey.
own any of them, but in a world of yes, Gary's on the board. Yes, we work for Gary. Yes, that gives us access to alpha. Jalen Duran NFT coming out that's positioned as a rookie card today off of what's happening with Memphis basketball. And if you paid attention over the last week, they're like really hitting their stride. Outside of the whole NFT card, whatever, is like, if you're a collector, like it's a pretty dope product.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first one where I've been like, feels like there's arbitrage there.
Yeah. And I'm the first one to be anti-Top Shot and all that stuff. I don't necessarily think I don't necessarily consider these to be very similar. It's definitely more cardy. And I do think also for college, this is like the first opportunity that I think college collectors have a chance to get in on the NFT thing as well. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, speaking of college and NIL, I saw at the Topps conference that Topps released that they're going to be putting out Bowman NIL product.
Yep.
So it looks like
they're doing a Topps Chrome for the Overtime League too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ty, what's on your mind?
First and foremost, what's on my mind is an apology to everyone for missing my flight on Saturday morning. I was very not happy about it, but then on the flip side, sometimes life happens and you learn from it, and on we go. I really wanted to be in Dallas. Like, I really was looking forward to it, and so I was sad about that. But you got to do what you got to do, and I caught up on some sleep this weekend at the end of the day. What I'm really pumped about is Ryan's coming into New York City for the first time in his life in 72 hours. And
Crazy.
I think it's going to be pretty fun. I'm really excited about Thursday night. I think we're gearing up for just good energy, good vibes, good people, good connections. Obviously, Zablo and the Bleakers trading team have been doing their thing, and I appreciate what they're up to. Just building, hosting us. Ryan coming in, taking time out of his busy ass schedule. We're doing some cool stuff with Gary Thursday, the three of us. And Gary, I would imagine
More to come there.
More to come there, but I'm gonna force kind of. I think there's a fun, even content combo between Ryan and Gary about digital versus physical and this new phygital kind of like world that is starting to emerge. And because there's pockets of people in the hobby, sports cards and trading cards, that are now into NFT stuff, and their perspective is really fun to also pick their brain on. So I'm excited to get all those combos together. That's Thursday night, and then Friday we're gonna do a little. Oh, Lou, I don't know if you know this. We talked a little bit. Hopefully, at the end of the night, we'll do a little Card Talk live or
Yes.
Card Talk pod, and on the back end, so we get an extra episode coming.
Little bonus episode.
A little bonus episode action. Friday morning hoops potentially, and the amount of hockey. The word is hockey was in Dallas. So I think maybe that's a good segue to Dallas recap, because I've probably said 7 things by this point. And Chris Kreider. We can just leave it there. Rangers have a hockey team. New York has a sports team. And Chris
They have
Kreider.
a real hockey team.
Chris Kreider is my
So Dallas.
And I won a card. on auction on eBay. And then I forgot to pay. It was a Chris Kreider patch auto, the cup. I forgot to pay.
Limited logos.
Ryan was actually going to bid on it, but I forgot to pay. He then relisted it, and I bought it for like $75 more.
Yeah, I saw it. I
know
like,
you.
This looks like the same card Tyler won. So I screenshotted it and put it in the chat. I'm like, Ty, what happened? He's like, shit, I forgot to pay. Gets on there and he's like, hey, send me the link. Buys the card again. So
Immediately.
Shout out to Ty.
Had to do it.
Ty, I mean, are you really do you think you're really invested in cards, man? I mean, like skipping Dallas, like missing out on Chris Kreider limited logos. Wow. Would you say you're really invested in cards?
Wow.
It's amazing. I don't know. Did I buy the fucking card?
Yeah, Rye. You fuck.
Lou, did you know if you bought the card?
I did know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When my friend Tyler says he's going to do something, he figures out a way to do it.
Interesting. That's not what I've seen the last 72 hours.
Not sure I can say the same for you. And I don't appreciate the shots you're taking right now. I'm going to defend my guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just remember this moment.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's going to bite me in the ass later.
Yep.
I love it. No, Dallas was cool. I will say, before we get too much into Dallas, it looked like there was a lot of really good shows this weekend. I saw some scenes from Philly, saw some scenes from like the Hickory, North Carolina show. It looked like shows were really going this weekend. Dallas was definitely busy. I'm not sure it's the busiest I've ever seen it, but it was pretty full at times. There was definitely a lot of energy there. I put in the group chat the other day, and I think we'll go on here and announce it before I post the pickups video. I texted Lou that this is by far the most baseball I've ever bought in a show in my life, ever.
Yeah, which is interesting because I think a lot of when you do post it, I think people are going to say you're typically pretty anti-baseball. I'm not even making a joke. Like you're typically anti-baseball, but I think you're operating against the coldness of baseball, right? That's what's making you do it.
Yeah, it just seems like you're just getting a delayed off season. It's, football still seems to be pretty popular. I think basketball prices Ronald Acuna Topps tier 1 on card auto out of 100 was $100. That's equivalent to a Jaw PSA 9 Prism. In my eyes, those are that same $100 makes way more sense for Ronald Acuna than it does John Morant. Like they're not comparable to me. One's a pop 50,000 card of a guy that is playing really well, but has millions of rookie cards. The other one is an on-card autograph from a licensed, decent Topps product of a top 5 player in baseball. I just don't think those things are the same at the moment. So for that, that played a lot into my decision.
I want to stop you for
How
1
do you-
second
how-
based on what you said.
Mm.
Ty, let me just make one quick point.
Mhm.
You saying that's a Topps Tier 1 Ronald Acuna auto is equivalent to a John Morant Prism PSA 9 is literally all the research you need to do to determine if that purchase is good or not. I think a lot of times people are always like, what should I buy? What's the good stuff to buy?
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Is this a
Very
good
basic.
buy? Is
Very
this a good
basic.
buy? It's what does this dollar translate to in another person in cards?
Correct. And like, you know what? The Topps Tier 1 auto might not multiply as fast as a John Morant auto does, but guess what? That 100's still 100, and you're doing pretty good on that 100 with that auto, and you're in a much better card than you are with a 50,000 pop card, like you're saying with the Ja.
And so there's a couple things. So I did buy a lot of that kind
Sorry,
of
Ty.
stuff, right? Like Juan Soto, Tatis, Ichiro. Like the other thing about those kind of cards, like trade nights coming up, right? When you go to trade nights and you go to those things, you go to shows and you make deals. When dealers are going through your box, you know what they see a lot of? Jaw nines, Tyler Hero Optic Blue Velocities, RJ Barrett Mosaic Color. They see a lot of that stuff.
This is
You know
an
what-
Instagram clip.
You know what they don't see as much of? Ronald Acuna on-card autos, Juan Soto patch autos, Fernando
Mhm.
Tatis autos. One of those things is more desired on a continuous basis. Every time you go to a show, a dealer is more likely to pull out your Tatis, your Ronald Acuna, your Juan Soto. Those are liquid.
They've seen
Those-
5 zillion John
They've
Morant
seen
cards.
5 zillion of those graded cards. Those graded cards, there are younger collectors. They're a starting point in the hobby. As you progress in the hobby and you work your way up, those things are not in every. I'm not sure of it, but I have a pretty good probability that Nat Turner isn't looking to collect Jaw Mosaic PSA 10s and RJ Barrett Prism PSA 9s. They're looking for stuff that's a little bit more unique and a little different stuff they don't see every day. So that's the one thing I try to focus on when I go to these shows is what are the things you're not seeing every single day.
Great point, Ryan. Sorry, Ty, I didn't interrupt you before.
The other thing,
No,
the other,
there's
go ahead,
no,
Tom, go ahead. No, you're good.
I think just that kind of like topical conversation. I think about it how we do our podcast, content wise, in general, like whether it was footy, F1, like it's there's so much noise, there's so much supply, there's so much action. Even within John Morant being crazy, if you were like, let me do all the random weird alt John Morant stuff, right? PMG. If you were just collecting PMGs and like the PMG dealer, boom, 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 doing your thing in your pocket, and then it happens, playing to the masses generally isn't going to win, even though it's easy and safe. And so hearing you say that is like, I was like, oh, it's kind of like our podcast. Like in the beginning, it was always, why are you talking about Marvel? Why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? Why are you stop talking about so much F1? Stop talking about, and then then it kind of comes. So I think there's something to that for sure. I would then also just push on Acuna and John Morant in that I could be wrong, but how do we feel about what's actually going to happen with baseball from the star power and the potential of what might happen with Ja? Prism 9, yeah, but Ja may be 500 times better than, or 500 times bigger than Acuna.
Sure. 1,000%.
Maybe. I think we're just talking about for the value of the $100 though.
The 100 to 100 on that card to card for sure.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to compare Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor Ronald Acuna to John Morant NT Patch Auto or John Morant Prism Gold out of 10, like the super unique stuff. I'm just at the entry points, especially when you're getting into like the sub $500 cards. Like, what does $250 get you for Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, or Fernando Tatis versus across multiple sports, right? Like the superstar stuff does not compare. Like Luca's cheapest auto, what's a Luca average auto sell for? $750, $800?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, I was buying Tatis, Juan Soto, Acuna autos in, even Franco's cheaper like Leaf autos. I mean, you're getting those for sub $250 pretty consistently. Now, again, the one thing I would say is no different than our conversation about Marvel or Pokemon or F1 or right. Like one, collect what you like. That's the easiest way to not lose. But two, like if you see a Juan Soto auto at a showcase and it's $500, it doesn't mean it's worth $500. It doesn't mean I would recommend buying it for $500. You still want to see what it's worth because it's only worth 100. It's not worth buying at 500, even though Jaw's 100, right? It's just, if this is worth this and this is worth this and you're going to spend money, I think the one thing you've got to think about in this is where does that dollar go across other things? That's the only thing I'm trying to, relay here.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I'm just like, Ja is really that
He's
dude.
a stud. He's great. Absolutely.
Ja's unreal, but also like Acuna was the MVP of baseball last year. His team just won the World Series. Like he's not going anywhere. So I understand the star power thing of basketball versus baseball. It's also like, let's have a conversation about who's going to have a more successful career. Like that's a real conversation. I think that's a lot closer than people would like to admit.
Yeah, and you're not gonna see me say, hey, baseball's back. I love baseball. Great. I just at the dollar they each are at the moment, I would rather put dollar into a sport that's down and not coming back anytime soon and is at a lower cost value than I think somebody like Ja Moran is, right? I just would rather put that $100 into a guy that's in the off season with no return date than to a guy that's having an amazing year and has a bunch of the base Prism 9. So
Yep. They also ruined baseball with this vote that just passed. So we don't have to talk about that.
What
today,
was that?
They got rid of the shift. They made the bases bigger. They put a pitch clock in. It's a nightmare. The shift thing is a nightmare.
They got rid of the shift?
It's a fucking nightmare. What's going on with the shift?
What defines a shift?
Like if you they put a player into the shift, like Joey Gallo was like the biggest shift guy of all time.
Yeah.
And now basically I think what they're gonna do is like set defined areas for where players can go based on position, and it's just the stupidest thing of all time. Just the stupidest thing of all time. I'll be right back.
all right. So
That's crazy.
Real quick, we got a lot to get into. Dallas was crazy. Definitely a lot of alternative sports in Dallas. There was a ton of Marvel, ton of it. A lot of people had it. I did not buy a Marvel card. Was not looking for it. Doesn't do as much for me. So I did not buy Marvel, but there was a lot of it there. I saw a good amount of hockey. I don't think I saw like as many dealers that carried only hockey. Like there wasn't as much. There was hockey. I'm not sure I would say there was a ton of hockey. It was like maybe a guy that normally carries baseball, football, basketball had a Wayne Gretzky and McDavid auto when they might not have before. But like there was not like 6 or 7 dealers that carried just hockey. They've been to most of those shows. I saw Jay said he saw a bunch of dedicated hockey guys. Maybe I missed a row, but being there for 2.5 days, that's just not the vibe I got.
Cool. Good to know.
Saw a lot of Marvel, bought a bunch of baseball. Overall, a pretty good show, well attended. That show continues to do well.
Do its thing, yeah.
So
sweet. Random as an aside, Leaf. That's what I was just looking up. The announcement hasn't come yet.
When is
their huge announcement? They said it's going to come today.
I would imagine.
I think they used the Fortnite graphic.
The Fortnite.
Like the huge announcement. The huge announcement looked like it was like a Fortnite thing. Speaking of Fortnite.
All right, that's what I was about to say. Let's save that for the end. I mean, the boys are absolutely buzzing.
The boys are buzzing. Yeah. The only thing I'm looking forward to is hopefully getting some of your time tonight to play some Fortnite.
Wait, they literally took the...
It's literally the Fortnite.
Cool. I'm excited for it to come out tonight.
Me too. In a weird way, because we've followed this saga. If it's Mbappe, I might wear a Leaf shirt.
It's pretty nuts if it is. I would, by the time this comes out, everyone's going to know, so it's not worth like speculating. But like, if it's Mbappe, I would love to know like how many autographs he's going to sign. Is it 100? Is it 1,000? If it's 1,000, that's going to be a lot of money.
Crazy.
It can't be 1,000, right? There's no way. It's got to be like 100 or less, right? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of like how much Leaf wants to put into it. Like, because again, the rumor's always been that he wanted more than Ronaldo and Messi combined. So,
Which was how much? Do we know how much that is?
I
Ballpark?
don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay,
So I would imagine
taking
some-
Mbappe out of the conversation for 1 second. Leaf announces the signing of one of the hobby's most massively desired autograph names tomorrow.
Who else could
Who
it be
else?
outside of Mbappe? Unless
Brady?
it's
That's what I'm.
that's a good guess.
Thank you.
I don't know who else it could be besides one of those two. And Ty, upcoming tennis.
Yeah, like,
Anybody
does
on tennis?
Serena have autos? Naomi Osaka?
Those are probably
Osaka,
good.
maybe.
Tiger's upper deck
Did
exclusive,
Osaka
I
do an
think.
auto with Levi's?
Tiger has. The other thing is, it sounds like it's someone who's never signed before. So it has to be someone who's never signed anything.
I don't know who in the hobby that's never signed anything.
We shouldn't spend too much time on this because by the time people hear it, we're all gonna know. So,
Yeah, I know.
but
All right, let's move
Sounds
on.
like, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Facebook questions. If you guys are interested in submitting on these, they are on the Card Talk Facebook group, so feel free to check that out. First one is from Andrew Murfitt. It says, rookie year base card or non-rookie year numbered card? Is it as simple as one over the other, or does it depend on different factors? For example, player or the card, etc. Love to hear your thoughts all the way from down under.
I think there's a lot of factors, right?
Yeah.
Basic point. I think rookie card is preferred.
Yeah, I mean, you're really like in terms of rookie cards, you're really chasing the top end stuff. You're chasing Prism number one, then you're chasing stuff from like Select, Optic, Mosaic,
Or
or
Topps Chrome.
other stuff like that. I'm thinking mostly basketball and football, but
Yep.
yeah, football or baseball would be the same way. So it depends if you're chasing like a collegiate draft picks rookie or a second year, Prism out of 299. It just depends. I would say for the most part that depends on the numbering, depends on the set. Like there's a lot that goes into it. There's not really a one size fits all kind of thing. It's
Let me ask you a question.
I also
Would you rather
think
have-
timing
Go ahead.
of release. The short answer is that it depends on a ton of different factors.
yeah.
I think it starts with collection versus like long-term money, but supply and demand. And the answer for Kevin Durant is a lot different than the answer for Zion, I would say, right? Because what is Kevin Durant's base rookie? If you look at it from a supply perspective compared to Zion's, like two totally different approaches, yet you could both say,
That was actually what I was
that's the
gonna say.
base. So I think that there is a lot of factors. Like Zion, you're looking for low supply, or that's where some of these inserts can get interesting. And we've seen this kind of rise of Kaboom. And like, what is the base card? When was it printed? At what period in the hobby? Because 90s junk wax stuff, there's like, it has been cyclical in that regard. Then you go to like products, or product gets hot. Those early Mosaic cards compared to what Mosaic is now. There is a lot of different factors. And I think timing, like era, is something to think about as well. Like the last 3 years, the base rookie is a lot different than the 2014.
That's correct. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have an out of 99 2020 Prism Tom Brady or a Joe Burrow rookie card?
Brady in 99.
Would you rather have a I'm trying to think of like another era.
That was a good one.
Thank you. I thought it was a good one too. I don't know. But like that's the kind of conversation you have to have with yourself, right? It's like
Gold Prism 2021 Durant or John Morant. Base rookie.
it just
From the same
you
set,
could
like
do the
same
game all
set
day.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did a little bit with baseball. It is about the factors. It is about I would boil it simply down to supply and demand. And there's been a lot of conversations around everyone focuses on supply. What about demand? And I think there's a lot in collecting that drives different demand. First and foremost, cultural relevancy, etc. But then collector's mindset, jersey match coloring, the number on the card. Like there is a lot of collecting factors that can lead to the non-rookie, alt rookie, one-off stuff that Ryan obviously knows like deeply, deeply well from years of understanding checklists and this and that and the other thing. Like there's a Foden in this upcoming Prism. There's a dual auto KDB Foden that is like random year, whatever, but like that pairing, that really can be bigger than say the rookie, of either of them. So there is that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jay. The next one's from Smallville Sports Cards. It says, did Tyler come in hot at Dallas? NBA is heating up. Will this translate to the card market with limited products out? So we've already addressed that. So I don't want to, just keep beating my man Ty down. He did not come in hot to Dallas. NBA is heating up. Will all of this translate to the card market with the limited products out? I think this is still yet to be seen. We've talked about this before. We don't know how this is going to happen because it's not typically ever happened, right? You don't have a lot of products out, and the NBA season ends here in a couple months, and you still have, Prism basketball is most of the time out the first week of December, and we're not even 5 products into the year. So it's. I mean, to say it's behind is an understatement, but it's really hard to say.
Yeah, not with basketball. I don't see it.
It'll be interesting, especially if a young player wins. Giannis wins another, Ja wins, Tatum wins, Luka wins, Booker wins. Like another young guy getting a ring versus a guy like LeBron.
Who's going to win Rookie of the Year? Mobley, you think?
I haven't followed it enough. Giddey at 19 putting up a triple-double, man. I'm in on
but
Josh
aren't they
Giddey.
just a nightmare? Like, no, I don't think. Aren't they just the worst?
Well, Scotty Barnes is decent for the Raptors. There's what is it? Wagner for the Magic. Michigan dude.
Mobley's the clear favorite right now.
Yeah, I would think so.
Minus 650.
Yeah, and so they could make some noise, right? Come playoff
Cleveland?
time? Is that possible?
Yeah, they're
I'm
definitely
sorry. I'm thinking Cleveland.
Didn't we just have this conversation a couple weeks ago and you said that the Cavs would get absolutely smoked in like 5 games?
I would. That doesn't mean they're not going to make noise in the playoffs. That both of those points stand.
You just threw in a little bit of optimism there, and a couple weeks ago that was not the case.
No. Okay, so let's now. Do you want to get into this conversation because we can?
Ty, do you remember it differently?
I know what you're saying. You're saying that I said the Cavs are bad, which I did say they would not beat the Nets in a playoff series. I hold on that. Number two, if the Heat just has a hot couple series or two, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. It was just funny.
I know.
All right. Mark Miklas says, "What do I?"
Oh, NBA. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a weird changing of the guard going on right now. There's a weird Bron on his way out. Maybe it's not so much as people don't. Yeah, they just.
Who do you think?
It's just Instagram and highlights.
Who do you think takes over the mantle for LeBron?
Giannis. His career achievements so far are.
I don't think he brings on the same level of intrigue and conversation that LeBron does.
Who does then?
Steph is the closest one I could think of, but he's already too old.
Sure, yeah.
But Steph's on his way out.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's not clear. Ja was a good one.
is seemingly like the next coming of it. And if Ja can stay consistent.
Bro, we're not talking about success. We're talking about vibes and conversation.
Giannis is back-to-back MVP, like one of very few that's ever done that. He has an NBA ring. Like he's going to win multiple more for sure.
Okay, so Lou, I guess it depends on like your terms. Like if you mean just dominate the league, I just don't see anybody else that is more
face from a media coverage.
All of the above. You can be really good if you're not like an interesting character. And you don't have if you're not a polarizing character, I feel like you don't take up the same level of.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you ask to pick today, not like no hypothetical if Zion comes back.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Okay. As it stands today, Ja, Luka, and Giannis are the top 3. if you hypothetically, the buzz that's been around Zion, if Zion came back, got moved, dominated, like he would definitely be in the conversation.
I think Giannis could if we could get some Giannis haters, and I'm willing to lead that charge.
Oh, you think Giannis needs some hate?
Yes, he has to be polarizing. He's too
The
loved.
Bucks are the Bucks are 40-25.
Yep.
And the Grizzlies are 44-24. The amount of media and press coverage around Ja Morant,
yes,
is like 5 to 7, 10x that of Giannis. The NBA is a media platform, and by and large, by proxy of what LeBron's done over his career, has made it into that. And yeah, Giannis is. If you watch a basketball game, Giannis is the guy taking over. Most don't watch basketball games though.
True. Myself.
They watch the catch from the corner.
Yeah, I just think it's going to matter when the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals are on, or the NBA Finals on, and Ja Morant.
I bring up the Grizzlies
and
because
Giannis is playing.
But I brought it up because Ja Morant might not be sitting at home. They're the 3 seed. Like, they're a good team, which is most people don't talk about with Ja right now.
Yeah, you got to play when it matters, right?
Yeah.
So like,
if they do win, Ja has a much higher ceiling of being the guy than Giannis, even with what Giannis accomplished, potentially.
We'll see. All right, next question, because we could argue this all day.
We could, yeah, for sure.
So Mark Miklas says, what do I do with all my base cards after rip and wax like Top Series 1? Donate them.
Donate them or use them as shipping tools.
Yeah, condoms for good cards.
This is a family show.
Somebody told me that once, and I've never forgot it. They use them, protect good cards when you ship them, or donate them to kids.
Yeah, me too. That's the answer for sure.
Jacob Kunkel says, I believe it was last show where it was mentioned that you think Tiger Woods is undervalued, and I agree 100%. But with that being said, keep an eye on Morikawa cards. He's on an insane career pace so far. Is that Colin Morikawa?
Oh, yeah, Morikawa. Yep.
What is it?
Colin Morikawa.
Colin
Morikawa, and he's filthy. Yep.
Yeah.
Filthy.
He's like crazy good.
Yeah, like filthy. Yeah, like trajectory.
He wins. He's in the top 3 of the weekend, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to go. He's very, very, very good. I think he has 2 majors. Young, like dynamic. There's someone that I DM with all the time about Morikawa cards. This homie's deep. Because I posted something about picking those up. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't really a question here, but I still believe in what that said. And I do believe in Morikawa.
You just got to be careful, right? Like some of these, they don't have a lot of cards. They're going to get more as time goes on and they get more successful. And I just think about it a lot. Like, what does he have to do to justify those prices where Tiger Woods is already 1A or 1B all time as a golfer and probably likable athletes over the last 25, 30 years? Like Tiger Woods is a all-time type athlete.
Well, let me ask a question. Do we need to compare every golfer to Tiger Woods? Is that what we need
to do?
I
think is about what's going to happen. Which I think is about what's going to happen. And the point around the whole golf thing was this. We saw what happened with F1. We've now gone through F1. George Russell. There's value in those cards now, right? Like Lando Norris. Like there's a market in and around that. But we just had on Play of the Week. Was it She Collects Cards? That was making crazy plays on the OGs. Right now, if you look at young emerging, what's about to happen to the PGA Tour, it's all going to become WWE, just like F1, and money, and they're going to pump these players, just like when we talked about ESPN and what happened to hockey, and you've seen a little bit of that over the next 2 years. All the Brooks Koepka not bleaching his hair for random reasons. Last year was the first. The more media you bring in, there's literally a leaderboard on the PGA Tour that you win. You come in first place, second place, third place. Tiger Woods came in first place this past year. He got like $5 million for being the most popular. You get a bag for being popular. So everyone's competing to be popular. So I think there will be market.
I did not know that. That's actually
to come. Yeah. So
I was not aware of that.
The Brooks and DeChambeau is WWE, bro. They don't actually care. It's WWE made up for
completely
social
WWE.
media.
That's
And
crazy.
so they will then create a market in and around that. But
That's
then,
wild.
to your point, you're going to see these people, and people are going to be paying $1,000 for Bryson DeChambeau, and then you're going to turn and look at Tiger stuff and be like, undervalued. That's
Value.
the point in that
Right.
whole thing.
It's happened with every
Yeah.
market we've ever seen. You're like
Every single one.
Brady,
It's the same thing every
Luka,
time.
and LeBron, and Giannis sell for the same thing. And you're like, this guy hasn't done a whole lot. This guy's done a little. This guy's pretty good. That doesn't make sense that these guys are so close. And then those cards pull away, and then they either get too hot and they come down. And the other cards, these markets are cyclical and they adjust on a daily basis, just like stocks.
Same thing.
And
every
Jay is sitting on a fire Jack Nicklaus that I would probably say the same about. There's probably Morikawa stuff that's in line with Jack.
All right, we do got to move on. We're on a little bit of a time
Yep.
crunch here. Last one. Would you rather have a higher print parallel with color match or a lower print parallel with no color match? As a collector, I'm taking the color match.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really think about that too much, but probably color match.
Yeah, I think this honestly. I know we've got to move on, but it's like the other question. It's just case by case, right? Serial number, who's the player, how low we talking. There's just so much that goes into it.
And that's also
Do you like the color?
What was this jersey match thing that was going on with cards in the last couple months, the last couple weeks?
Jersey number?
There was a whole thing where everyone was posting like their jersey numbered cards or whatever.
Brother, I've been doing that for years. That's the
I know,
ultimate play.
I understand, Rye, but like it became a thing in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, because there was John Morant NT rookie patch auto 12 of 99 and the Juan Soto orange or gold or Bowman chrome refractor 22 of 25 or 50. They both sold at the same time on like PWCC for a ungodly amount of money. And I think Slab Stocks was the one that posted about it. Like, does this validate jersey numbered sales? Because they were. I'll find the post. They were outrageous.
That Kreider is jersey number.
What I was gonna say was,
Is it?
It is.
It wasn't March's jersey number.
It wasn't. Who's?
Yeah, right here. So Slabstocks posted this 6 days ago. It says the John Morant National Treasures rookie patch auto PSA 8 did $550,000. The Juan Soto orange jersey number 22 of 25, 95 sold for $300K. They were both sold in a private deal by our guy Shine. Guy's got a crazy collection. It says with both of these cards being jersey number and both all-time high sales for each player, this points to the true power of the jersey serial number in the high-end market. Because the last John Morant NTRPA 8.5 sold via PWCC Marketplace in February's premier auction for $60,000. That's over 9x on that card.
Yep.
Collector nuances are
Which brings up the point
important.
that when Shine bought the LeBron Exquisite 23 of 99 for like $2 million in the last 6 months, that was one of the all-time steals of the century. That's a $10 million card. He got it for like $2 million. The ultimate steal. That card, when it sells next time, will sell for a fortune. Mark this date. That card is going to sell for a ton of money. But anyways.
hot take, high-end LeBron's gonna sell for a lot of money.
Jersey number, you got to
Only here on Card Talk.
Gonna
will you
make
hear stuff
$5
like that.
million on that card. Gonna triple,
He will.
3-4x's money. All right, let's get into play of the week. Let's see what we got.
Play of the week.
Shout out to
Play
Jay for hopefully getting us some winners here. All right, so this is from the Cardboard Collaborative. It says, "Hey guys, here's my play of the week. Back in the end of October, I bought a 2017 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man Bronze PMG at a $199 for $324, all in off eBay. At the time, wait, real quick. Does that mean he like brokered a deal off eBay, kind of like backdooring it, or like did he buy it on Instagram and just wanted to say off eBay?
All in. I think it's on eBay. I think on eBay. All in on.
He's
eBay.
trying to say like off of eBay.
Yeah, I took it off of eBay.
Interesting.
Only we get stuck on something like that.
At the
That's a good
time,
point.
it was overcomps by a good amount, but with Spider-Man No Way Home coming out in a few weeks, I thought there was room for Marvel cards to get a bump. Unlike in the past, I decided to actually listen to my gut and pull the trigger.
Good
In
job.
February, I sent it to PSA Express and got an 8, which is good for PMGs. That brought my total cost for the card around $489. This weekend, I went to the Philly card show and sold it for $2,100. It's a $1,600 profit and by far my biggest single sale. It's the hardest thing to learn, but follow your gut because it pays off more times than not.
Great work.
It's pretty good.
There's so many Spider-Man cards. It's crazy.
They're all fresh as hell though. Like the card is
It's
fire.
true. Yeah.
You guys have definitely we've mentioned it on the show before. I like Marvel. I think it's huge. It seems like there's a little bit of FOMO built into Marvel PMGs at the moment. There are a lot of sales on a lot of cards that I'm like 7-8 months from now come the national. I'm not sure going to be the same. I could be wrong, been wrong before. It just seems like there's a lot. They were all over the Dallas card show. It seems like it's a FOMO thing built in there. And this is no shot at the Cardboard Collaborative. This is a great play, hell of a play.
Yeah, I would take the other side of that conversation in that it's mind-blowing to me, unless you're a big Marvel fan, how big of fans people are. Like when I think about Ronald Acuna and Spider-Man, I'm like, Spider-Man is so much bigger and has
but they
such a
also
bigger
have to
collector
collect
base.
cards. They also have to collect cards.
Which is why we're seeing what happening, because most card collectors never even thought about it. And they were tearing up everything Marvel, you know what I mean? Like Spider-Man, even myself, not a Marvel person. I've known Spider-Man my whole life. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the most gangster characters ever. And so I would just take the opposite of like, have you ever been to a Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
You know what people do around this shit? Like, it might even keep going in the realest way. Like,
I hope I'm wrong.
Something
I don't know. I'm just like, I see it and I'm like, people are crazy. Talk to people that work at Marvel, you know, and what's happened. It is nutty.
Something a OG collector once told me is that if something as rare as PMGs, if you ever see like 4 or 5 of those sales inside a 2-month period, that means the collectors have the current holders of that have decided that the card's too expensive, and that's why it becomes available.
Yep.
So your takeaway from that is then that means it's too expensive, right? Like that's the takeaway that you get. The other side of that, like Tyler is saying, and what I always went against was like, just because it's selling for all-time highs right now doesn't mean you're at the ceiling of what that card is. In the short term, maybe, but there's like the people that Tyler's talking about, the people who go to these cons and do buy these cards. If you're at the Dallas card show, you're probably more of a card person, but the type of people who buy these cards that are collectors of them, they have no issue paying at the all-time high prices right now because they see what the comics go for.
Hopefully, we don't know who the end consumer is.
Totally.
So hopefully,
that's all I was saying. I just want to make a point about the OG collector, and they say that it's selling a lot of them because it's selling for so much. Like you just said right now, there's another end of that coin, like Tyler is saying as well, to consider.
Yep. All right, next one, Jay. All right, this is from Brendan Bilaka on Twitter, it looks like. He says, my submission for play of the week. I'm a big believer in sealed wax, especially those with desirable chase cards inside. I bought this 2011 Topps Value box, which has the Mike Trout update rookie possibility for $600 US in June. And I recently sold it for $1,500 6 months later. Sealed product may not be as sexy, but it's tough to go wrong with boxes from iconic releases.
Very, very smart play.
Agreed.
There's people are going to look at this and they're going to say, you know what? $750, $1,500 is not the biggest increase in the world. $1,500 is a lot of money, but wax of a card when he's talking about the 2011 Mike Trout, like wax of that is not going anywhere. And there's a lot less of it floating around than there is of 750 Canadian, 600 US. So there's a lot less of that 2011 Topps update floating around than there is of 2018 Topps update, which people are buying as well. Very smart, not rare, but like harder to find wax. Great play.
Yep. Always, big believer in sealed wax. Supply and demand on that, I think, is something you'll see play out in time with economics on that. It's just as time goes on and breakers continue to, break at the rates they're breaking and want product as fast as they want it, and as companies evolve out of the desire for breaking and the gambling aspect of the hobby continues to grow, the product they're looking for to solve that fix or to grow that business is the sealed product. So I love the play. All right.
Aligned.
Next one, Jay. All right, so this is from Muffin Sports Cars. He said, I bought this Lewis Hamilton track tag for $50 at a booth in Dallas, already under comps. They do about $75 or so typically. I utilized DCI's on-site raw card review at the Dallas Card Show and know that they have a great reputation in crossovers to PSA. Was thrilled to get a 10 back from them the same day. And with knowing their 10s are commanding premiums due to their reputation, I posted it to F1 Facebook group for $175 and sold it in 10 minutes for $100 profit. Within 24 hours, that's $25. So that's $25 under the last SGC 10 comps.
So basically, he bought a card for $50 at a booth in Dallas, took it over to the Dallas show review, which has a reputation of good crossovers. I wasn't aware of that, but if so, that's great. That's a good, nice little tool. And then went into a Facebook group list. The F1 Facebook group was like the biggest one. There's like several thousand members. He went in there and sold it in 10 minutes for $175. So he made $100 in 12 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I've not utilized DCI at the show, but if that's true, it's definitely hard to argue with that.
Yep.
Right before the F1 season too.
Cool.
All right, next one. All right, this is from Harris Decker. It says, have a pretty cool play of the week submission this week. Been really into the wrestling cards as of late, searching for the Rock rookies. While on the hunt, I came across this Adam Cole gold auto at a 10 at a card store. Negotiated the price to $40 and got home and found out he had a big match on Sunday. Threw it up on eBay right away and got an offer of $180. Took it and ran. All in was about $120 profit in less than a week after fees and shipping. It's pretty cool.
WWE just always
This is also on wrestling, boys.
This is
just
also,
blows my mind.
That's also another one that's sold via promoted listings. We have not we've seen a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
Do not sleep on wrestling, boys.
Do not sleep on wrestling. Is right.
I ripped a box of WWE Prism on loop recently.
Really?
Yep, just to get a feel for what was going on.
About WWE Prism or about Loop or about both?
When did WWE come out?
WWE came out, maybe not Prism. I'm sorry. Wait, let me see.
You said Prism because Jay the announcement just came recently, I think.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It was Top Scrum. Yeah. Sorry, Top Scrum WWE.
I was so confused. I'm like, wait. Did I miss something here?
My bad. Yeah, it was because Jay said Prism in the chat. Yeah, great play. Love this. I mean, easy money. And if you know wrestling, I think the funny thing about wrestling is I think if you understand how the business works, you might be able to get ahead on some guys and girls that you wouldn't otherwise. You know, it's a lot. Maybe not. I haven't been as involved in the wrestling game, but I would think it's a little bit easier to make some plays if you know what you're doing.
Calvin Ridley just got suspended for a year for gambling on NFL games.
Oh my!
Is that what was going on?
He just tweeted, "I learned from my L's," or maybe that was yesterday. He tweeted it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he tweeted it yesterday.
All right, Jay. So is that it? I think that's it. All right. So we got wrestling. To me, it's the sealed wax. I'm going the 2011 update play. I'm going with this.
I don't think that's right. I think the Spider-Man has to win.
I'm going Spider-Man.
Show me the Spider-Man again.
I think Marvel cards are still a fucking play.
He bought it raw.
Yeah, paid above market because he believed in it, right? Trust your gut.
This is the winner. He paid a little bit above market because he trusted his gut after going back and forth on it for a while. He submitted it. He got an 8, which is great. Obviously, there's a little bit of luck built into that. And then he sold it for cash at the Philly show. This is the winner.
Yeah, definitely a good play. I believe in that. I like the sealed wax play. A little bit more of a slow and steady grind, but iconic set like Trout update is. I like the wax play. So that would be mine, but I'm outnumbered on this. So the Cardboard Collaborative is our winner. Now, I think he submitted a couple, and I think that's actually the first time he's won.
I believe so.
I think he submitted a couple.
Jason,
finally a dub.
For a while. Good work.
All right. So as we wrap it up, we're going to get into latest launch. There's actually some decent releases this week. You got Contenders Football, Donruss Choice Basketball, Prism Premier League Soccer, Topps Chrome F1 Racing, Opening Day Baseball, and Topps WWE Women's Division.
I mean, Topps Chrome F1 Racing is.
And Origins Basketball, and Playbook Football, and
Can I just
Topps
make a
Heritage
statement?
Baseball, and Topps
We're-
Finest Wrestling.
We're doing lose poos.
Lose Poos.
How do we do no releases for like months on end, and then 1 week everyone decides to just drop everything they have?
It is very weird.
Can we like take a
Yep.
look at the calendar as an industry and like make a decision to like not overload releases?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
It's very expensive.
And that was lose poos.
Yeah, Contenders football is going to be big. F1 Chrome, second year. It'll be interesting to see how that affects first year F1, how the second year stuff does, new parallels, different stuff like that. So it's going
Jay's fired up.
to be interesting. There's some good releases, right? You're starting to get more into the new basketball stuff. Like I said, you got Origins coming out. Contenders is a top 10 release each year. Cracked Ice, Herbert, Lance, Fields, Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, like those are going to do really well. Those are going to be big sales. These are going to be some of the first big cards of some of the 2021 football guys. You haven't got Prism yet. You haven't got Optic yet. You haven't got Select. You haven't got Contenders. You haven't got NT. These are going to be really some of the first sales after their rookie year even. So it'll be interesting
Ryan,
to see what the football market does.
Ryan, do you think I will, and take your personal feelings on Zach out of it?
Okay.
Do you think, and this is an honest question about cards, do you think I will have a better opportunity? Do you think I'll have a cheaper opportunity to get a Zach Contenders than I will in the next 2 weeks? Between now and when football season starts?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sure.
When?
Um,
Because think about it. Releases today. Free agency starts in, I think, a week or two.
So in April, I believe there's a 3-week period where Prism and Select comes out right there. You know when your best opportunity to buy a previous product is when the new shiny toy comes out.
When the hot toy comes out.
When the new shiny toy comes out, you buy the old stuff.
That is not wrong.
People will be buying Zach Wilson Tiger Stripes and Prism Silvers and Golds and Camos and numbered autos and color blast and things like that. They'll be looking for all that stuff. Then you buy the Contenders auto.
Interesting. Yeah, you're not wrong now that I think about it. But that was the point I wanted to say. I think I might have to do a break of Contenders this week, but maybe not now that we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, delaying some of the products in this, like it messes with the off season, because typically when the off season hits, a lot of the good products are out. You typically only have like Flawless, like the season's over with a lot of the cards, and then you get ready for the new stuff. So like Panini's working on basketball and draft stuff and baseball and other things when February comes around typically. So the off season happens.
Bro, it's just like, how about like take a look at the release calendar for other companies too? Like I understand that they can't plan their lives around Topps and Panini can't plan their lives around each other, but like let's take a look at the calendar and see that there's nothing last week. I don't know what's happening next week. Like there's going to be lulls coming up here. Why do we need to just front load everything? I'm a big fan to just get the product out, but at a certain, like we're here now and now we're doing 10 releases this week. Why?
Interesting. We'll see how it plays out. All right.
Because there's just so much money and everyone's going for it. I was just going to mention on the Prism release, Saka Color Blast and the KDB Foden Dual Auto. I think it's 05. Are both two cards that I want very badly. Foden and KDB is a fun. I don't know why I like dual autos a lot when it's there. I don't know, like the to me still the Randy Johnson dual auto. You have the Randy Johnson or the Derek Jeter? Right.
I have Derek Jeter out of 5.
Those two cards to me are insane. I don't know why. There's something about the dual auto pairing, like culturally, that I think is fresh. And Foden KDB together
Who's
is
KDB?
a crazy dual
Kevin De
auto.
Bruyne?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah. He buried us with 2 goals in the first half. So
Oh, also before we close it out, Tyler and myself played some Fortnite this week or last week, I guess. We got a win or 2, maybe we got.
I think we got one. I think we got one.
Right, I know you like enjoy your life and you like don't play video games really, but like if you're ever feeling bored, you want to get in the mix.
Never
Love to
played
have you.
Fortnite.
It's a real shame.
There's few things that are as fun as playing Fortnite with the boys.
Facts.
Never played. One of these days,
we're gonna
let's
play
do it.
tonight. Hopefully,
I'm ready to go.
Me too.
Jackets
I'll be home at
play
6:30. Can't
Toronto
wait.
tonight. So
You're one of the hockey game?
yeah, Reg and I have date night.
Nice.
Are you a Jackets season ticket holder?
No, but long
You
story.
frequent.
Like, the Kraken came to town like early in the season, like first or second game, and I wanted to go and get good seats because it was the first time they'd ever been in town. They were an expansion team, and ended up getting seats like they're like center ice 5. They're great. They're amazing seats, and we're sitting there the whole game. And like in the start of the second, a guy comes down and sits next to us, and he's like, "Yeah, you like the seats?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like they're cool." And he's like, "Well, they're ours." He's like, "We own these 4." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool."
4, yeah. So
we got to talking. I'm like, "Hey, if you ever want to move tickets, like I've got a team of 10, like we've got like I could do something with them."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "I'm not going to this game, this game, this game, this game, this game, this game, this
Fire.
game. You can have them." And I was like, so I bought a bunch of them. So like actually,
I love it.
I told you guys this earlier. When I'm in New York, Reg's friends from New York will be in town, and they're going to the game on
They're going to the
Friday,
game?
So
Have you collected any Jackets players?
like mostly Rick Nash stuff. Like I have a Line A, Young Guns.
Rick Nash. Oh my god.
But like Nash was like really one of the better.
Nash was the guy.
Yeah, I think Jenner's been there a while. Like Foligno's not there anymore. Like, so there's some guys like Werenski. Like I'll pick up stuff of them here and there, but most of the hockey guys I collect are like Ovechkin, Crosby, McDavid, Gretzky, like the all-time guys.
I still think there's a whole. Someone made the Stevie Yzerman, Mark Messier, Brian Leach. Those are obviously New York guys, but Pavel Bure, Paul Coffey, Ty Domi. Like there's a whole subset of underappreciated in that hobby, I think. Eric Lindros, Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, Patrick Waugh.
We're just naming hockey players to close the show?
Yeah, pretty much. Go just ride on out that way.
All right.
I'm out. I gotta go.
Who are the Devils?
Thursday.
Scotty Gomez.
All right, we're done. I'm leaving. Goodbye, everybody.
Martin Brodeur.
I'm out.
Goodbye. Show's over.
Thursday.